All right, Weirzy, before we get going on the second hole, I have questions about the scorecard. This is kind of like your map, right?
Yeah.
So you get in, you see this, you open it up. What does all this mean?
Well, these are all the holes you're going to play, depending if you're playing 9 holes or 18 holes. So we just came up to the second hole.
Okay.
You can see it has a name. Some courses have names of the holes.
Okay.
This hole is called Deception. It's a par 3.
Okay.
Down at the bottom here, you can see it says here's all the pars, and the pars of the different holes. We're on number 2. So this is a par 3. You can see it's a shortish hole. It's a, hopefully we can get to the green in one shot. That would be ideal.
Okay.
The beginners aren't going to get there in one shot, but that's what we're going to try to do.
Okay, my second question is this. I see that there's different tee boxes. And why are there like different colors on each tee box? And why does every course have different colors? And why are there so many of them? And how do I know where to go?
It's just to identify the different level of player.
I won't cheat. I'll try to stay within the purple things.
Usually the very back tee, the furthest tee, is normally a black tee.
Okay.
That's usually for your more advanced player. The longer the course, you're playing all the way back, you're giving it the full length. So that's where your advanced player is playing. The next tee usually up is the blue. So still a very good player, maybe a player that doesn't hit it as far as they used to, but they're still a very good player. Maybe they've lost a little distance, they want to go up to the blue tees.
Okay.
The white tees are your typical handicap golfer in the United States. Somewhere between a 10 to a 30 handicap would play probably from the white tees and be comfortable from the white tees. So that's a little bit closer. So the overall course length is quite a bit shorter than the blue or blacks. And then you move up the next deck to the forward tees, the women's tees, maybe some senior tees. And the last set of tees, sometimes there's another junior set of tees in front of those. So those are the different tee boxes. They're color coordinated. You got black, blue, white for the average, usually red for the women and seniors, and then they might have like a yellow or something for the juniors.
Thank you for that. No one's ever broken that down for me before.
Okay.
If I want to play the very front tees, I can, right?
You can. Oh yeah, you can go right to the front. And in fact, I suggest that. I mean, that's where you can kind of get your score. It's a little bit easier to score. You get your confidence up. You can make some 4s and 5s on par 3s. And it brings your score down because the course isn't so long. You don't have all these long carries to carry the ball a long way. And you're just a little closer to the hole to start with, so it's a little easier.
Okay, so if I start with the very forward tees, do I have to commit to that every hole?
You can do what you want. I mean, I would suggest, you probably would want to play the forward tees. And then as you advance in the game, you can go, oh, this par 3 seems very short for me now. I'm just going to try to go back just a little bit.
Okay, so if say I'm with a group of girls and we're all playing in different tee boxes, that's okay, right? Like we can all play it different. You can. I mean, you typically don't see, unless they're very good players, women players moving back much past the whites. There are some women that can really smash the ball pretty far and they might get back to the blues or the blacks even. Your beginning golfers, no. I mean, they're all going to pretty much play from the front tee boxes. All your friends that you play with, you guys are all mostly, near the front. Totally.
And that's fine. And as you advance, depending if someone really gets into it and wants to play a lot and they get lots of games, then maybe by the next summer they might, hey, I'm going to try back a little bit.
Yeah. So this is breaking down how many yards.
Yes. You can see the total yardage from the black tees at this course is 7,322. So pretty long course in the black tees. As we go down to the blue tees, it's 6,700 yards. The white tees, 6,200 yards. And from the red or gold tees up ahead, 5,700. So
for the whole course.
For the whole course. So, from the black tees to the front tees is almost, 2,000 yards of difference. So that's quite a bit longer when you play that 7,000 yards, and that's just too demanding for beginning golfers. You want to be right to the front.
So why does this say in? So you've got, this says out and this says in.
That's what they term the front 9. You play the front 9 in your front 9 score. You would mark your out in, let's say, for myself, if I shot a 35, I'd be out in 35. And now my last 9 holes, let's say I shot 34, I'd say I'd be in 34 for a total, TOT, total of 69.
What does HCP mean?
That's your handicap.
So how do I get a handicap?
You have to commit. You have to get some scores in. You have to, at your local club, you have to submit your score, what you shot that day, and there's.
So you have to start taking score.
You do. To get a handicap, you do need to keep score.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you submit that to.
And you submit that. There's a bunch of different websites
Okay.
online. Your local club pro could help you set up your handicap when you're ready for that. When you're ready to start keeping score and you want a handicap.
And that way, when you're doing like you're playing in a tournament, you're paired up with people that are at the same level.
Right. Exactly.
As you, so
Exactly.
that it's an even playing field.
Totally.
So it's important to have that if you're going to be playing.
It's very important to have a handicap if you're going to play in some tournaments, so you can be in the right flight and playing with the right group of people. That there's usually different flights. There's a championship flight that might be your 0 handicaps to 4 or 5 handicap players, and then the 5 handicap to 10 might be the next flight, and so on and so forth. So you don't want to be, enter a tournament without a handicap and they just put you in the championship flight when you're a beginner.
Yeah, you'd be screwed.
Yeah, you would be.
For beginner golfers, do they even need to worry about what do we start getting in the habit of doing?
Yeah, I would say you can start to keep a score. I would pay attention to the tee boxes when you look at a scorecard. Look at, what's on this particular golf course, the Classic Club here in Palm Desert, the golds are the front tees.
Okay.
So sometimes the golds are the back tees. Most of the time they are black though. Black and blue are the very back tees, but this course, it's the golds are the front tees. Sometimes it's the red that are the front tees. And that's where you want to be looking. This is where you want to be playing from. So then when you look at the card, you can see the yardage from that tee. So when you get to this hole in particular, it says from the gold tee that you'll be playing, it's 152 yards. And those are usually to the center of the green. The yardage is usually. So if the pin's on the front, it might be a little bit shorter than that. If the pin's on the back, it might be playing a little bit longer than that. But we have our old trusty rangefinder, that you can just laser it and go, oh, this hole's playing 132 yards today. So that's what I would pay attention to, is just what tee box am I going to play today? Is it red or gold, the front tees for the beginners? And here are the different holes, here are the different pars, and away you go. And we can talk about that as far as like etiquette and going along. When you're learning the game, getting on the course, going to the very front tees and moving along is really important for everybody. It keeps the pace of play. When you have a big golf course like this where there's lots of people coming out to play, you don't want to be holding people up. So when you can go right to the front of the tee box, get up at the green, get it on, do your best and move on, everybody's happy.
Everyone's happy.
Everybody's happy.
Okay, last question. As we play, I'm going to write my name down.
Right.
And are you going to keep my score and I keep your score? Is that the way golf works?
Well, it's in tournament golf, yes. But when we're just playing casually, you can just keep your scorecard on the cart like this. You'd mark, let's say we were playing with 2 other people, there was 4 of us, we'd write all 4 names in here.
Okay.
And since you have the card, since you're keeping score, you would say to me and the other playing partner, what did you have on that hole? And you'd mark them all in.
So is it the person that's driving that keeps score?
Anybody can keep score.
You determine that beforehand.
Yeah, you can just say, hey, I'll keep score today, guys. Or, do you want to keep score today? There's no set in stone.
What do you do if you know someone shot like a 6 and they say that they shot a 4? Son of a bitch. What do you do? You know it. You're like, I know.
You just go, are you sure? Do you want to recount that? Because
this is what's so cool about golf is it is a game of integrity. Totally. Like there are times when you can be out in the woods and you're like, I'm gonna just pick this up and throw it over here. No one will know. And it's like, this is what I love about golf is it is the practice of integrity, which is cool.
Yeah.
But like, so you have to be in charge of knowing your own score.
Yep.
And then people are gonna also tell you their score.
Right.
And then at the end, you're gonna add it all up.
Right.
And then the person with the lowest score wins.
That's how it works.
So competitive.
That's how it works. But you don't need to. When you're starting out, you don't really even need to worry about that. I mean, you just want to stay in your own game, just try to work whatever you're doing. And the best thing is just concentrate on your own game. If people want to cheat and try to do something, that's on their own conscience.
That's on their own conscience.
Yeah.
So Jen and I like to play where if anything over a 10, you just keep it at a 10.
I would pick it up at that point.
Yeah, we pick it up.
Especially when you're beginning, it's like, let's move on to the next hole. This hole is like, let's just go to the next one.
Yeah, and that's important to actually do for pace of play as well, right?
Totally.
Like if you're just not, like it's important to just pick up.
10's even a lot. I mean,
but maybe it's a 7. No, it's like a 10. It's definitely a 10.
It is?
Yeah.
I would try to cut that down to an 8.
When we were beginning, it was a lot, but there were a lot of shots.
Okay. Yeah, if we can move it along and be 10, that's okay. If it's slow and all over the place, let's just, after about 6 or 7 of them, let's put it in our pocket, let's move to the next hole. But like, that's the whole point of being up close to the front of the tee box and playing the forward tees
Yeah.
is that you're probably going to get around the green within a couple of shots.
Faster.
Especially on a par 3, on a par 4, you might be 4 or 5 to get up there. So, you know, you're going to be moving. You're moving.
So it sounds like pace of play is a really important part of this game.
It is. Even at the professional level, they're on our butts to keep our pace of play up. So it's important to kind of keep going, to kind of like, you know where to put the cart, know where to set your clubs down when you go up, when you go onto the green. Don't set them way over here, putt, and then have to walk way across the green, pick your clubs up to walk back.
So
you know?
these
little
are
things.
And these are the things that intimidate people so much. Like it feels like I'm gonna do it wrong. I'm gonna mess up. I don't know how to do it. So do you think we could just walk through a few holes and you can just break all this down for me?
Totally, it's simple. We're gonna break it down and we're gonna keep it easy. And once you realize how easy it is, where you set your clubs and when you go up to the green and when you bring your seed with you to fill in the divots and fix your ball mark, you can do it really quickly.
So you're gonna be really annoyed with me because I'm gonna ask you a lot of questions.
It's okay. We're gonna break it down. Let's go do it.
Yeah, I'm hoping this is the first and last time we will ever have this conversation because I will be so informed.
You will be.
Okay.
We'll break it down.
Okay, I love it. Let's do this.
Let's do it.